international updates and the state of affairs in the United States of America. Joining me on the broadcast right now is Professor Vikramaditya Khanna, who teaches law at the University of Michigan. A very good evening to you. Thanks very much for giving your time here on Republic. And if you're talking about the current scenario in the United States, the picture is not looking very good. 2,000, it has crossed the death toll mark in one single day. How would you react?
It is incredibly sad news to see this level of death and difficulty that's occurring throughout the country. People here, of course, worried, and many places have extended the lockdowns. And we're also seeing unemployment increase to levels that haven't been seen in most people's lifetimes. The one good news, of course, is that we're beginning to see some plateauing of new hospital admissions, which suggests that to a certain extent social distancing is beginning to work, which is some good news amongst what otherwise seems like rather unfortunate news.
Yes, because even if we are looking at the current situation, Professor, we are getting visuals of mass graves also in New York. New York, which has now become the state reporting the maximum number of cases, whether be it of infection or the deaths as well. In Michigan so far, do you feel the situation is under control? Over 2,000 cases and touching almost 1,300 deaths, last reported.
It's been, I think it's been surprising to people how quickly the virus has spread in Michigan, especially in the greater Detroit area. And of course, the concern is that we're now going to be seeing higher death rates as the current understanding. And that worries many people. I think that the state of Michigan is taking very, very strong measures now. And we're seeing convention centers being turned into hospitals and with, 1,000 beds. So we're hoping that things will get better. Where I live right now, it's sort of been consistent rather than the acceleration you've seen in the greater Detroit area. But it's unfortunate and surprising that Michigan has had the kind of acceleration we've seen over the last few weeks.
How do you view the response coming in from the federal state? Because there has still not been a complete lockdown that has been put in place. Donald Trump wanted the country to be up and running by Easter. It is almost Easter now, but the situation is looking pretty grim.
Yes, my sense is that the lockdown, at least, for example, in a number of states, the lockdown has been extended through May 1st, and I suspect that will happen in many other states. Even some of the states that had not announced a lockdown are moving towards it, one suspects. People are, of course, concerned about the effect this may have on the economy. But the first priority has got to be ensuring minimum loss of life and minimum physical discomfort at this stage. It's clear that that social distancing is going to be a critical part of the strategy to combat the virus. And enhanced testing, if they can start.
So do you believe that the reopening of the United States, the decision that Donald Trump is saying, that I hope it is the good decision, and he is all depending on God, on how exactly will the people also respond? Do you believe that it is still a little premature looking at the current scenario?
To open up the U.S.? Yes, I think that the concern would be that to the extent that we are able to see a little bit of flattening of the curve, it's because of many of the social distancing measures. As a result, you don't want to stop those now. You want to continue with those so that you get a real decrease. I think opening it up at this stage would be something that people would want to think about very, very hard.
And what do you have to say about India's help to America? We have seen a lot of Indian doctors who are battling on the front lines there, but also the help that through medicine and drugs that India has helping and reaching out to the United States and other countries as well. How far do you think the help will go on in building ties further, especially with the Indian community there in the United States and Indo-US relations?
So the Indian community here, I think, has been very, very active in trying to combat the virus in all the different ways in which they can be involved. I also commend the Indian government for, helping with the anti-malarial pills and in whichever way they can do it. it is, this is a time for the world to sort of come together. And I think this has certainly been a good sign that India has been as proactive as it has in facilitating services here in the U.S. and pharmaceuticals too.
Because so far, how is the Indian community there viewing India's response? Because we have seen at the time of the global pandemic how it is trending on the charts and it is showing an alarming picture. For now, statistics claim that India is far, far behind, but that is a good thing. But how is the United States viewing India's position right now with a complete lockdown in place?
I think people are very impressed with the fact that they went for a complete lockdown as quickly as they did. And the fact that India has been proactive in assisting other countries and in providing medicines here to the U.S. I think all of that has been received very, very positively. People are very hopeful out here that India's measures will pay some dividends. And indeed, I think everyone is watching the efforts of all other countries that are taking assertive steps to combat the virus and try to stop it in its tracks. And I think India is being viewed very positively in that regard. Of course, it's early in the game still too, but people are optimistic, but cautiously so. This virus is difficult to predict its exact next move, although we're learning that social distancing is important.
Absolutely. Social distancing is the key right now because every country rather is making one appeal that stay at home and stay safe, and that is the one mantra for now that can be followed to avoid the spread or to contain the spread of this virus as much as possible. Thank you very much for sparing your time, Professor Vikramaditya Khanna, who's the law professor at the University of Michigan. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hi everyone, I'm Abhishek Kapoor. Thanks for checking out Republic World. If you would like to watch more show highlights and live coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to download the Republic World News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.